So guys, today we are going to learn about the pharmacology. Pharmacology is one of the most important subject in the medical. So to learn the pharmacology, we should first basically know the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Okay, so what's pharmacodynamics? It describes the actions of drug on the body and the influence of drug concentrations on the magnitude of the response. In pharmacodynamics, we need to remember some important points और फार्माकोडायनामिक्स पे उसी पे बेस्ड है. ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट, ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं है. इम्पोर्टेंट तो है बट ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं है फार्माकोडायनामिक्स. सो which are the important points in the pharmacodynamics? Those are efficacy, potency, therapeutic index, what is LD50, ED50, receptor, and drug bind to the receptors. Okay, so now let's talk something about the efficacy. Let's see what is efficacy. Efficacy means the maximal response of the drug. A drug with greater efficacy is more therapeutically beneficial than one that is more potent. And what is potency? It is a measure of the amount of drug necessary to produce an effect of a given magnitude. So, the concentration of drug producing an effect that is 50% of the maximum is used to determine potency and is commonly designated as EC50. EC50. So guys, you just need to remember what is EC50. You just need to remember the concentration of drug producing an effect that is 50% of the maximum is used to determine potency and is commonly designated as the EC50. What is EC50? EC50 is concentration of effective dose. So ED50. Now we have learned about EC50. Now ED50, LD50. ED50, median effective dose. The drug dose that produces a therapeutic or desired response in half the population. 50 means 50%. ED means effective median. So effective median dose 50 means 50%. It is the desired response of the drug in half of the population. LD50. LD stands for lethal dose, lethal median dose, which is also 50% because here LD50 is given. So what is LD50? The drug dose that produces lethal response in half the population. Wherever the 50 is given, it means that 50% is half, and it is related to the population. So 50 means half of the population, 50% of population. And what is LD50? Drug dose that produces lethal response in half the population. Okay, got it? So now what is the therapeutic index, which is denoted as TI, and it is important, which can be given in your next exam. Next means which stands for the National Exit Test Examination. Okay, so therapeutic index, a measure of drugs safety. They will not ask you the definition, they may ask you problems based on the formula of the therapeutic index. So therapeutic index equals to LD50 upon ED50. That is, therapeutic index equals to median lethal dose 50 upon median effective dose 50. Okay, so now let's see what is the receptor. You guys know already about the receptors, enzymes, and all. So now in short we will just see here what is receptor. Receptor is a specialized target macromolecules. Receptors are specialized target macromolecules, and characteristics of receptors are what? Sensitivity, specificity, saturability, reversibility, multiple variation. These are no more important. The characteristics of receptor, by the way. What important is the major receptor families? You just need to learn this or remember this by heart, because these are important families of receptors. So what are the receptor families? Transmembrane G protein coupled receptors, transmembrane ligand gated ion channels, enzyme linked receptors, and intracellular receptors. No need to explain this. Drug bind to receptor. So drug binding site to receptor, or in what manner the drugs can bind to receptor. They are of two types: agonist and antagonist. Agonist, full agonist and partial agonist. An antagonist has competitive antagonist and irreversible antagonist. Full agonist A equals to 1, partial agonist 0 is smaller than E, which is smaller than 1. So now what does this E stand for? E stands for intrinsic activity of drug. Intrinsic activity of drug. So what is important here? Important is this, that drug bind to receptor in at two sides, agonist and antagonist. Actually these are the base, agonist and antagonist. An agonist are of two types, full agonist and partial agonist. Antagonists are of two types, competitive antagonist and irreversible antagonist. Okay. So what is this? Yeah. If both the antagonist and the agonist bind to the same site on the receptor, they are said to be competitive. If both the agonist and antagonist bind to the same site on the receptor, they are said to be the competitive. Receptor desensitization and receptor sensitization. What are these? If agonists bind to a receptor continuously, the receptor will be desensitization, and if agonists bind to a receptor continuously, the receptor will be sensitization. Okay. And this is about the pharmacology, mainly pharmacodynamics. I will upload the videos of pharmacokinetics too, and other lessons of pharmacology, which will be handwritten in short and easy to understand. If you need any notes of any other subjects, you can tell me. आप लोग मुझे बता भी सकते हो जो आपको सब्जेक्ट्स के चाहिए. इनफैक्ट आप किसी भी डायग्राम्स के भी बोल सकते हो, मतलब जैसे कोई डायग्राम हो, आपको इजी वे में निकालना हो, सीखना हो, आप बोल सकते हो. मेडिकल सब्जेक्ट के कोई भी, या फिर किसी भी आर्ट के कोई सी भी डायग्राम, कोई सी भी ड्राइंग भी बता सकते हो. आई कैन से यू. थैंक यू.